My broken car led me to her van, and a journey I never planned to take. The engine sputtered like a dying heartbeat, then quit altogether, leaving me stranded on this godforsaken stretch of Highway 101, the kind of road that winds through Oregon's coastal pines like a vein pulsing with secrets I wasn't ready to bleed. Rain-slicked asphalt gleamed under the wiper's frantic swipe, and my hands gripped the wheel so tight my knuckles ached, white as the fog rolling in from the Pacific. I'd been driving too long, fleeing the echo of my ex's voice, sharp, accusing, final, saying I was too broken to fix, too jagged to love. Sarah. God, even her name tasted like ash now. At 32, Riley Harper, master mechanic by trade, I'd rebuilt engines from scrap, pieced together transmissions shattered beyond reason, but my own heart? That was a rusted-out wreck I couldn't touch without burning myself. A sigh escaped me, heavy and ragged, fogging the windshield as I popped the hood. The smell hit first, burnt oil, sharp and metallic, mingling with the salty tang of ocean air seeping through the cracked window. I stepped out into the drizzle, boots crunching gravel, flannel shirt already clinging damp to my skin. The van appeared like a mirage through the mist, a battered '78 Volkswagen Westphalia, splashed with faded murals of wildflowers and shooting stars, parked crooked on the shoulder maybe 50 yards up. Smoke curled lazy from its tailpipe, but it looked alive, unlike my sedan. And there she was, leaning against the driver's door, arms crossed over a faded Ramones tee that hugged her frame just right, dark jeans tucked into scuffed Doc Martens. Her hair, a tousle of chestnut waves, caught the weak morning light, and those hazel eyes, sharp, appraising, locked on me like she'd been waiting. She was younger, mid-20s maybe, with the kind of effortless cool that screamed city escapee, not small-town grease monkey like me. A camera dangled from her neck like a probably the real deal. Need a hand? Her voice cut through the patter of rain, low and steady, laced with that faint East Coast edge. New York. I'd bet my torque wrench. No pity in it, just straightforward offer like she fixed breakdowns for breakfast. I wiped rain from my brow, feeling exposed under her gaze, my broad shoulders slumping a fraction. Yeah, timing belt I think. Snapped like a wishbone. My laugh came out bitter, forced, the sound swallowed by the whisper of wind through the firs. She pushed off the van, boots splashing shallow puddles as she closed the distance. Up close she smelled like fresh ground coffee and patchouli, a combo that twisted something low in my gut. Lena, she said, extending a hand, her grip firm, calluses from shutter clicks, not wrenches. Freelance shooter. Chasing light on the coast. You. Riley. Wrench turner out of Portland. Chasing. Hell, I don't know. Sanity, maybe. Our hands lingered a beat too long, skin warm against the chill. And I swear I felt the pull, that magnetic snag you can't unhook. Her eyes flicked down, then up, holding mine with the question she didn't voice. Heat flushed my cheeks. Damn this rain for making everything slick and revealing. We bent over the engine together, her shoulder brushing mine, accidental on purpose, sending a jolt like crossed wires sparking. The hood creaked under our weight, and as she pointed out the frayed belt, her breath ghosted my ear, soft and minty. There. Snapped clean. You got tools in the trunk. I nodded, throat tight, and fetched my kit, the clank of metal a welcome distraction from the way her laugh bubbled up when she spotted my lucky rabbit's foot keychain. Tattered, sentimental, a relic from my dad before the cancer took him. Cute, she teased, voice dipping warm. Suits you. Tough exterior, soft underbelly. By noon we jury-rigged a fix with zip ties and prayer, the car coughing back to life with a reluctant growl. But the van's alternator was whining too. A faint whine like a held breath. Follow me to the next town? Lena asked, wiping oil from her cheek with the back of her hand, leaving a smudge that made her look reckless, beautiful. Seaside's got a shop. Beers after. I hesitated, the road ahead blurring in my mind, back to Portland, to the empty garage apartment smelling of stale takeout and regret. Or this detour. Her van a beacon painted with dreams I hadn't dared chase since Sarah gutted me 2 years back. Yeah, I said finally, the word heavy as an anchor dropping. Lead the way. The drive was a convoy of two, her taillights winking through the rearview like flirtatious signals. Radio static crackled with old Springsteen, Thunder Road. the lyrics hitting too close, trading a fast car for a ticket to ride. My chest tightened, a sigh slipping out as I drummed fingers on the wheel, the leather creaking under my grip. Seaside blurred past in neon strips, saltwater taffy shops, arcade bells clanging, the boardwalk's roar of laughter and waves crashing like applause for lives unlived. We parked side by side in the lot of O'Malley's garage, my buddy Mick's place, the air thick with motor oil and fried clam strips from the food truck across the street. Mick, burly as a bear with a beard to match, clapped my back hard enough to rattle teeth. "Harper, thought you'd gone full hermit." His eyes slid to Lena, appraising. "Who's the road warrior?" "Friend," I muttered, dodging the implication, but Lena just grinned, slinging her camera. "Lena Voss. Broke down same spot. Blame the highway gods." Inside, the shop hummed. Air compressor hissing like a serpent. Fluorescent buzz overhead casting harsh shadows on tool benches scarred from battles won. Lena perched on a stool, legs swinging, snapping candids of Mick under the van's underbelly. Her focus intense, lips pursed in that way that made my pulse stutter. I worked opposite, sweat beating down my spine, the metallic tang sharp on my tongue. Every glance her way felt stolen, her fingers deft on the shutter, the soft click echoing like a heartbeat sinking. Hours blurred, grease blackening my nails until Mick called it. "Alternator toast, overnight job." "Crash at my place?" he offered, but Lena beat me to it. "My van's got a pop-top. Parked by the beach. Room for two." Her eyes dared me, playful but edged with something deeper, a vulnerability flickering like the dying light outside. I swallowed hard, the invitation landing like a spark on dry tinder. "Sure. If it's not weird." The beach stretched endless under twilight, waves murmuring secrets to the shore, foam hissing white against black sand. Her van squatted like a faithful steed, interior aglow with string lights she'd rigged warm amber, casting her face in soft relief as she fired up a camp stove. "Chili from a can, but I doctor it," she said, stirring with a wooden spoon, the sizzle popping, cumin and garlic blooming thick in the salt air. We ate cross-legged on a wool blanket, knees brushing, the heat of her thigh a brand through denim. Conversation flowed easy at first, her gigs shooting indie bands in Brooklyn dives, the grit of subway rats in neon haze. My days elbow-deep in engines, the satisfaction of a purr revived, the loneliness of nights with nothing but TV static and a six-pack. Laughter came unbidden, her head tipping back, throat exposed, and I caught myself staring, the curve of her neck a map I ached to trace. Then the wine hit, cheap red from a twist-off, tart on the tongue and walls cracked. Sarah left because I couldn't be soft enough, I admitted, voice rough, staring at the fire's embers in a driftwood pit we'd scraped together. Crackle pop, sparks dancing like fireflies fleeing. Said I was all edges, no give. Liked my hands. I flexed them, scarred and blunt, hating the tremor. Lena's hand covered mine, tentative, then sure, her palm cool silk against my heat. "Edges make the best stories, Riley. Mine's full of them." Her breath hitched, eyes glistening in the firelight. "Grew up in a house where love was a four-letter word. Dad split, mom buried in bottles. Learned to see the world through a lens 'cause up close it hurt too much." A pause, her thumb stroking my knuckle, sending shivers up my arm. "But you? You're not broken. You're real. Like this road. Twists you didn't see coming." The air thickened, charged, the distant buoy bell tolling low like a heartbeat slowing. I leaned in, drawn inexorable, our foreheads touching, breaths mingling, hers quick, mine ragged. Her lips parted, soft question, and I answered with a kiss, tentative at the edges, then fierce, tasting salt and wine and want. She melted into me, fingers tangling in my hair, a moan vibrating low in her throat that undid me. Hands roamed, mine under her tee, tracing the dip of her waist, skin fever hot, hers on my jaw, grounding, tender. The world narrowed to this. The scratch of sand under the blanket, waves crashing crescendo, our sighs weaving into the night. We tumbled into the van's loft, pop-top canvas flapping gentle like applause, bodies entwining in a tangle of limbs and whispered names. Her touch was fire and balm, exploring scars I hid literal and not, with lips that forgave. Climax built slow, then shattering, her cries muffled against my shoulder. My own release a sob swallowed in her hair. Afterward, tangled in sheets smelling of her, lavender soap and sea, we lay listening to the rain patter on the roof, hearts thundering in sync. Morning brought coffee brewed black and strong, steam curling like ghosts in the dawn chill. But as we packed to roll, doubt crept in, a shadow under my ribs. This was a detour, not a destination. She was a nomad, camera her compass. I was rooted, garage my gravity. What now? I asked, voice small, handing her a mug, our fingers brushing electric. Lena's smile faltered, eyes searching mine. The road doesn't end here, Riley. But it forks. She cupped my cheek, thumb tracing my lip. A gesture so intimate it stole breath. Come with me. Just till Cannon Beach. See where it leads. I nodded, fear and thrill knotting tight. And we drove into the sun, her van leading, my car trailing like a promise hitched. Cannon Beach unfolded like a postcard ripped from a dream. Haystack Rock looming jagged against the surf. Gulls wheeling sharp cries into the wind, their wings slicing blue sky. We'd stopped at a pullout, van and sedan nose to the overlook, and now we hiked the tide pools, boots squelching wet sand, the air brine sharp with kelp and low tide funk. Lena's laughter rang out as she crouched, lens inches from a starfish's spines, her voice a melody over the waves' rhythmic crash. Look at this guy, orange as sunset, clinging like he owns the rock. She glanced back, hair whipping wild, eyes alight with that infectious spark. Kinda like you, Harper. Stuck but stunning. I snorted, kicking a pebble that skittered into foam. The cool spray misting my calves. Flattery'll get you a free oil change. But inside, her words wormed warm, thawing the frost Sarah had left. We'd made love again at dawn, slow and exploratory in the van's confines. Her body arching under mine like a bowstring drawn taut. Release a quiver of gasps and grips. Now walking side by side, shoulders bumping casual, the ease unnerved me. Intimacy had always been my kryptonite. Too close and I'd bolt, wrench in hand, fleeing the mess. We picnicked on a driftwood log. Peanut butter sandwiches crusty from the cooler, washed down with lukewarm water from dented canteens. The sun climbed high, baking the chill from our bones, and conversation dipped deeper, probing like tide-eroding stone. First girl? She asked, casual as tossing a shell, watching it arc into the breakers. I chewed slow, salt gritty on my tongue, the admission sticking. College. Barista named Jess. Quick fling, all fire no foundation. Crashed hard when she ghosted. A wave boomed, echoing the hollow in my chest back then. You. Lena traced patterns in the sand with her toe, heart shapes dissolving fast. High school. Art class crush on Mia. The poet with ink-stained fingers. We snuck kisses in the darkroom. Chemicals stinging our eyes, enlargers humming like conspirators. She moved away senior year. Broke me open. Her voice softened, edged with old ache. Chased it ever since. Women like shooting stars, bright but burning out. Our hands found each other, fingers lacing natural as breathing. The grit of sand between palms a tactile reminder of now. But as gulls squawked overhead, a truck rumbled past on the highway, bass thumping country twang. Some ballad about lost loves and dusty trails, and reality intruded, sharp as shattered glass. My phone buzzed in my pocket, insistent, mixed name flashing. I ignored it first, but it rang again, vibration buzzing against my thigh like a warning. Work. Lena nodded at the screen, her grip loosening a fraction. Yeah. Emergency job, probably. I silenced it, but the spell cracked. Portland pulled. Bills stacking like unpaid debts. The garage's fluorescent hum waiting. Clients who saw me as the fix-it girl, not the woman unraveling. I should head back tomorrow. Can't leave Mick hanging. Her face fell, subtle, a cloud shadowing those hazel eyes, but she rallied with a grin too bright. One more night then. Ecola State Park. I've got a spot with a view that'd make Ansel Adams weep. She stood, brushing sand from her jeans, the motion pulling her tee tight across her breasts, stirring heat low in me despite the doubt churning. We drove winding roads, her van swaying gentle on curves, wildflowers nodding purple along the shoulder. The park's overlook dropped sheer to the sea, cliffs plunging into turquoise fury, wind howling fierce enough to whip tears from our eyes. We pitched a tent hasty, nylon snapping taut, stakes hammering into loam with mallet thuds, and as dusk bled purple across the horizon, we uncorked a bottle of Pinot she'd scavenged from a roadside stand. The corks pop a punctuation to the day's unraveling. Fire crackled in a ring of stones, flames licking dry twigs with greedy snaps, casting flickering gold on her skin as she strummed an old guitar pulled from the van's depths. Folk chords, raw and yearning, Dylan cover. Don't think twice. Her voice husky, threading ache through the melody. I sat close, knees drawn up, the wool of my socks damp from dew, mesmerized by the flecks of her fingers on frets, calluses dancing like lovers. Sing with me, she coaxed, eyes locking, and I did, off-key and halting, our voices braiding in perfect harmony. The song faded, strings humming residual, and she set the guitar aside, crawling to me on hands and knees, predator grace in the firelight. Riley, she murmured, name a caress, lips brushing my temple, then jaw igniting trails of gooseflesh. I pulled her down, bodies aligning urgent, the ground hard under the blanket but forgotten in the press of her weight, solid and yielding. Kisses deepened, tongues tangling salty, hands mapping urgent, mine cupping her breast, thumb circling nipple to peak, hers sliding under my waistband, fingers deft and knowing, drawing a gasp that fogged the night air. We moved together, urgent then languid, her moan sinking with the wind's moan, climax crashing like waves below, leaving us spent and slick, hearts pounding tattoo against ribs. Spooned in the tent, her back to my front, arm draped possessive over her waist, I inhaled her scent, sweat and smoke and sea whispering into her hair. This scares me, Lena. Feels too good to last. She twisted, facing me in the sleeping bag's cocoon, breath warm on my lips. Scary's where the light is, Harper. Chasing it got me here. A kiss, feather soft, sealed it, but sleep came fitful, dreams tangled with road signs blurring into warnings. Dead end ahead. Dawn broke stormy, clouds boiling gray over the ocean, thunder rumbling distant like a grudge awakening. We broke camp silent, zippers rasping loud in the hush, coffee scalding bitter as we sipped from tin mugs, steam curling accusatory. The drive to Seaside was tense, radio off, just the engine's hum and wiper blades slapping rhythm. Swish thwack, mirroring my pulse. At the garage, Mick had my car purring, hood down with a clang that echoed final. All set, kid. That belt was toast. He eyed us, bushy brows lifting. You two? Friends, I said quick, too quick, avoiding Lena's gaze as she leaned against the workbench, arms crossed, camera idle for once. She cleared her throat, voice steady but threaded thin. Gotta hit the road, Riley. Astoria next, then who knows? A pause, heavy as the rain starting up again, pattering tin roof like impatient fingers. You got my number. Use it. I nodded, throat closing, and walked her to the van, gravel crunching underfoot. The hug was fierce, bones compressing, her heartbeat thundering against mine. But when she pulled back, eyes shiny, I felt the rip, clean, surgical. Safe travels, I managed, voice gravel. She drove off, taillights fading into the gray, leaving exhaust fumes curling bitter. A hollow in my chest where she'd nested. Back inside, Mick clapped my shoulder. Rough one, huh? I just grabbed a rag, wiping phantom grease, the shop's clamor. Hiss of torches, clang of sockets, drowning the ache but not the echo of her laugh, or the way her touch lingered like phantom limb. That night, alone in my apartment above the garage, rain lashing windows like accusations, I scrolled her texts, stock photos of tide pools, a selfie grinning windswept, fingers hovering over reply. Portland's skyline glowed sodium orange through the blinds, but it felt foreign, a cage of my own welding. Sarah's ghost whispered doubts. You're too fixed in place, Riley. Too afraid to roll. By midnight, decision crystallized, sharp as a snapped belt. I packed a duffel, jeans, tees, toolkit, heart hammering like a loose piston. The road called, Havana horizon pull. I texted. Detour's not over. Wait for me in Astoria. Her reply pinged instant. Engines warm. Floor it. Astoria's hills rolled steep under tires humming blacktop, the Columbia River churning muddy below bridges that spanned like steel prayers. I'd floored it from seaside, 2 hours blurring in a haze of classic rock, Fleetwood Mac wailing landslide, the lyrics carving canyons in my resolve. Can the child within my heart rise above? Wind whipped through the cracked window, carrying pine resin and river damp, my flannel sleeve flapping loose like a white flag of surrender. At 32 I'd mastered control, torque specs memorized, breakdowns diagnosed blindfolded, but this? Chasing a woman who'd cracked me open in 2 days? That was freewheeling blind, engine redlining. The van sat parked at the Maritime Museum lot, her silhouette visible through the windshield, head bowed over a map, pen tapping thoughtful. Parking crooked beside her, I killed the engine, the sudden silence roaring loud. Waves lapping pilings nearby with wet slaps. She looked up, hazel eyes widening, then crinkling joy, pure, unguarded, and bolted from the van, crashing into me before I could unfold from the seat. You came, she breathed, arms vice around my neck, legs hooking my waist in a koala cling that stole air. Laughter bubbled between us, shaky and relieved, her body pressed flush, curves molding to mine like custom-forged parts. Couldn't not, I murmured into her hair, inhaling that patchouli coffee elixir, hands spanning her hips to steady us. We kissed there in the lot, rain slick and urgent, salt from her skin mixing with the river's brine on our tongues. Gulls wheeled overhead, mocking cries like cheers for fools in love. She'd scored a slip at the docks, old trawler rental, weathered hull bobbing gentle, ropes creaking against cleats. Captain's quarters for us, she announced, hauling her pack aboard with a grin, the deck planks groaning under our weight. Inside, the cabin smelled of varnish and old fish, portholes framing the river's flow, a brass lantern swinging lazy gold light. We stowed gear hasty, duffels thumping into bunks, then cracked beers from a cooler, foam hissing white as we clinked bottles, the clink echoing metallic off bulkheads. Dinner was chowder from a dockside shack, steaming bowls cradled in laps on the fantail, spoon clinks punctuating stories swapped like currency. Hers, a gig in Seattle last month, shooting a protest, tear gas stinging eyes, chants rising thunderous, her lens capturing fury in frozen frames. Felt alive, she said, steam fogging her face, eyes distant, like I was part of the pulse. Mine, the garage grind, a widow's Cadillac revived after her husband's crash. The way her tears hit like oil drips when it purred again. Fixing things. It's control. But lately, feels like patching leaks in a sinking ship. I set the bowl aside, the ceramic warm against thighs, vulnerability spilling easier than the chowder's cream. Night fell velvet over the water, stars pricking black like nail heads in tin, and we made love on the bunk, hull rocking subtle cradle, her gasp sinking with the lap of waves against fiberglass. Fingers traced tattoos I'd missed before. A swallow on her ribcage, wings spread mid-flight, inked after Mia's ghosting. Freedom, she whispered as my lips followed the lines, tongue flicking salt sweat. Mine was a wrench outline on my forearm, faded from time, Dad's mantra etched beneath. Turn it till it fits. She kissed it reverent, teeth grazing skin, drawing a hiss from me sharp as steam escape. Climax built title, her nails raking my back in furrows that'd bruise sweet tomorrow, my name a litany on her lips. Riley, oh God, Riley, until we shattered, bodies quaking the bunk's frame with creaks protesting. Spooned after, her breath evening slow against my neck. I felt anchored, not adrift, the river's murmur a lullaby promising forever. But morning brought the gale, winds howling banshee through the pilings, rain sheeting horizontal, drumming the deck like frantic Morse. We huddled inside, coffee perking with gurgles on the propane stove, mugs steaming comfort in chilled hands. Plan? I asked, peering through streaked porthole at whitecaps chopping the river to froth. Lena shrugged, towel drying her hair, droplets scattering like diamonds. Washington border. Olympic Peninsula. Rainforest hikes, hot springs soak. Her grin flashed defiant. Storms just foreplay. We cast off midday, her at the wheel, tiller actually on this relic, throttle chugging diesel rumble, bow slicing chop with sprays arcing cold over rails. I braced beside, hand on her shoulder, feeling the play of muscle under her slick jacket, the vibration thrumming up my arm like shared pulse. Astoria's cannery ghosts receded, cliffs rising rugged, eagles wheeling thermal screams piercing the roar. The crossing was brutal, ferry from Point Adams, deck pitching queasy, salt spray stinging cheeks raw. We leaned rail, arms linked, her head on my shoulder, wind tearing words away till we shouted nonsense. Inside jokes about busted belts and shutter speeds, laughter whipping away on gusts. Below, seals barked from rocks, slick bodies flopping comic, easing the knot in my gut. This wildness, her wildness, mirroring my own caged storm. Olympic's edge welcomed us green and dripping. Ho rainforest, a cathedral of moss-draped giants, ferns unfurling fronds like conspirator hands. We hiked the Hall of Moss's trail, boots sucking mud with wet pops, air heavy with earth and decay, sunlight shafting ethereal through canopy. Lena snapped frames feverish, droplets jeweled on leaves, my profile half-shadowed, intent on a fern's curl. "Hold that," she directed, voice hushed reverence, and I did, frozen till the shutter clicked soft. Her approach, then a rustle of underbrush, arms wrapping from behind, chin hooking my shoulder. "Beautiful," she murmured, knot of the moss, breath hot on my ear. Heat pooled low, but we pressed on, sweat beating despite the damp chill. Thighs burning on inclines. At a fallen log bridge over a brook, water chuckling silver over pebbles, we paused, sitting hip to hip, legs dangling, her hand finding mine automatic. "Ever think about ditching it all?" she asked, skipping a stone that plinked ripples wide. "Garage, jigs. Just go." I exhaled slow, the sound lost in the brook's babble. "Every damn day. But roots run deep. Dad's shop now mine. Feels like betrayal to cut him." A pause, fingers tightening. "You? Ever wanna plant some?" Her laugh was soft, edged melancholy. "Tried once. Brooklyn walk-up, steady editor boyfriend, ex now. Felt like wilting." She turned, eyes searching, vulnerable, raw. "With you though. Feels like soil." The kiss started tender, lips brushing tentative, then deepened, hands cupping faces, the log's bark rough against palms. We didn't make love there. Too exposed, hikers' voices faint echoes, but the promise hummed, electric under skin. Hot springs waited at Solduk, steam rising ghostly from pools terraced into hillside, mineral tang sharp in nostrils. We stripped shy at first, me averting eyes from my own softness, belly not toned like hers, then slipped in naked, water scalding then soothing, enveloping like lovers' arms. Bubbles perked lazy around us, rocks smooth under toes, and she floated close, legs tangling mine underwater, silk slick. "Stay," she whispered, water lapping her collarbone, nipples pebbled rosy. "Till the leaves turn. See fall with me." Heart clenched, I pulled her astride, water sluicing between us, kissing her fierce. Teeth nipping, tongues dueling salt mineral. Hands explored buoyant, hers kneading my breasts, drawing moans that echoed off stones. Mine gripping her ass, guiding the rock of hips. Release crested quiet, shudders muffled in sighs, the forest's hush complicit. But as twilight bled amber through steam, my phone buzzed again, mic urgent. Client meltdown, shop flood from burst pipe. Reality's hook yanked hard. "Gotta go back," I said later, toweling dry in the cabin's lantern glow, voice cracking wood. "Just for a week. Fix it." Lena nodded, face schooled neutral, but her eyes, God, those eyes betrayed the fracture. "I'll wait." Peninsula loop, then south. A hug too tight, bones protesting. "Don't vanish, Riley." Driving east into night, taillights swallowed by trees, the empty passenger seat mocked me. Radio static hissing accusations. Portland loomed, lights smearing wet on windshield. But home felt hollower. The garage's flood, a sopping metaphor for the deluge inside. Portland's rain fell relentless, a gray shroud over the Willamette's sluggish flow, streetlights haloing puddles that reflected neon lies, promises of bars and anonymity. The garage squelched underfoot, floodwater receding to dark stains on concrete, the air thick with mildew and despair. Mick handed me a mop, His grunt sympathetic. Rough week. I nodded, wringing the rag till my hands blistered raw. The slosh of dirty water echoing the slosh in my skull. Lena's texts pinging sporadic. Sol duk soak, your laugh in my head. Ho ferns missing your grip. Days blurred into a grind of overtime. Engines eviscerated on lifts, their guts splayed under fluorescent glare. Sparks flying from welders with hisses like vipers striking. Clients blurred too. Harried mom with the minivan on its last gasp, tears tracking mascara as it roared back. Grizzled vet cursing a truck's transmission, his thanks gruff over coffee steam. Work was armor, thick and oil slick, but cracks showed. At night, apartment walls closing like a vice, takeout boxes piling like unanswered calls. Sarah's old voicemail looping phantom. You're too much, Riley. To everything. By Friday, exhaustion carved hollows under my eyes, but resolve hardened like cooling metal. I called Mick. Taking leave. 2 weeks. Cover. He paused, then chuckled low. Go get your girl, Harper. Life's too short for busted belts only. Packed light. Duffel stuffed hasty toolkit for emergencies. I hit the road south, no wait, north again, Highway 101 uncoiling like a vein to her. Texts flew. Leaving now. Olympic. Her reply forks. Dungeness crab feast. Hurry. The peninsula welcomed feral, deer flashing tawny through headlight beams. Their eyes glowing ruby accusation. Run free, why chain yourself? Radio crackled NPR tales of wanderers, fueling the fire in my veins. Forks materialized fog-shrouded, twilight kitsch fading into real damp woods. The van parked at a crab shack lot, her figure silhouetted against sodium glow waving frantic. We collided in the gravel, her jump wrapping legs around me again. Kiss devouring, desperate, spiced with salt from the air. Hands fisting shirts like lifelines. Missed you, she gasped, forehead to mine, breath sinking ragged. Thought you'd bailed. Never, I vowed, voice gravel thick, pulling her toward the van. Inside, crab legs cracked messy on a fold-down table. Shells crunching between teeth, butter dripping chin gold. Laughter bubbling over bites. Tell me everything, she demanded, shell shards scattering like confetti, her foot hooking my ankle under the bench. So I did, the flood's chaos, mop blisters popping yellow. A near miss with the slipping jack that left me shaken. Pulse thundering echo of her touch. She listened rapt, fingers tracing my palm scars, eyes soft. Hero shit, she teased, but leaned in, kissing knuckles gentle. My mechanic. Night deepened, vans loft a nest of blankets in her. Bodies rediscovering in the rock of suspension. Her on top, hips grinding deliberate. Moans muffled in my neck, sweat sheening skin to slip. Fingers delved, curling sure inside her. Thumb circling clit to draw whimpers keening. She reciprocated fierce, mouth on my core. Tongue laving with worship that arched me off the mattress. Release a wave crashing white noise. Morning misted the woods, dew beating ferns like tears unshed. And we drove aimless. Her camera clicking raven calls. My hand on her thigh, denim warm under palm. Hurricane Ridge called, Summit Road twisting skyward. Pines giving way to alpine meadows, wind scouring high and clean. We hiked subalpine loops, boots crunching scree, vistas unfolding endless. Straits of Juan de Fuca glittering silver below. Olympic sisters jagged horizon. At a viewpoint, sheer drop to valleys fog-filled. She set the Leica down, turning to me solemn. Riley. It's real, right? Not just road fever. Wind tugged her hair wild, voice whipping thin. I cupped her face, thumb stroking cheekbones, sharp heart slamming cage. Realer than anything. Scary real. Kiss sealed it, fierce against gusts, her hands fisting my flannel, pulling closer till cliff spun away. But descent brought storm, thunder cracking overhead like world-splitting. Rain sheeting sudden, turning trail to riverbed. We ran laughing, soaked through, van a beacon in the lot, wipers slapping frantic as we tumbled in. Dripping puddles pooling at our feet. Change, she ordered, stripping shirts with shivers, skin goose pimpling, nipples tight peaks. I followed, jeans peeling wet, and we dried rough with towels, friction sparking heat. Huddled naked under quilts, her head on my chest, Heartbeat thumping tattoo. She traced my collarbone idle. Ever think about forever? Not map, just open. Voice small, vulnerable as the storm's rumble fading. Yeah, I admitted, fingers combing her damp waves. The scent of rain and her mingling heady. You and me, van or garage. Building something. But doubt flickered, my lease ticking, her gigs nomadic, the pull of roots versus Rome. Lake Crescent gleamed turquoise next day. Sun breaking triumphant. Water still as glass under canoes slicing V-wakes. We rented one, paddles dipping synchronized, splash sink, muscles burning harmonious, laughter echoing off bluffs. Picnicked on shore. Cheese and apples crisp, wine tart on tongues, her head in my lap as I fed her bites, juice dribbling chin I licked clean, sparking kisses lazy. Afternoon swim, water shock cold, gasping laughs as we dove, bodies buoyant, her legs wrapping mine underwater, playful to heated, emerging slick and flushed. On the pebbled beach, towels spread hasty, we made love brazen, sun dappling skin, her cries swallowed by wind, my hands pinning wrists gentle, thrusts deep and claiming. Release quaked sand, afterglow tangled limbs, whispers of plans. Winter in the van, snow-capped drives. Spring garage add-on for her darkroom. But evening brought fracture, her phone buzzing insistent, agent voice tinny through speaker. Berlin gig, Lena. 2 months. Pays the nomad life. She hung up, face ashen, eyes pleading. I could say no. For us. Gut twisted, I forced smile. Go. See you. We'll bridge it. But inside, fear gnawed, distance a wedge, 2 weeks a test run, what if months splintered? Night fell uneasy, love-making tender but edged, touches lingering like goodbyes unspoken. Storm cleared, stars brilliant, but sleep evaded, her breathing even beside me, my mind racing circuits. Turn back or torque forward. The ferry from Bainbridge sliced Puget Sound pewter, salt spray arcing over rails like fleeting regrets, Seattle's skyline spiking jagged against low clouds. We'd left the peninsula reluctant, van and sedan convoy again. Her hand waving from the window as we queued separate lanes. Mine for the car deck, hers topside with foot passengers. Up top, I found her at the stern, wind tearing at her jacket, eyes scanning water for Orcus flash. There! She pointed, arm hooking mine, thrill vibrating as a fin sliced dorsal black. Seattle buzzed electric. Pike Place fishmongers hollering heave-ho, salmon slapping wet on scales. Coffee roasts blooming nutty from cart steaming fog. We wandered market alleys, her camera capturing chaos. Street fiddler bow rasping melancholy. A drag queen sequins glittering under awnings. Lunch at a dim sum hole-in-wall, carts rattling bamboo steamers. Pork buns fluffy bites that burst savory on tongues. Chopsticks clacking like Morse affections. Afternoon drifted to the needle, elevator humming ascent smooth. City sprawling toy-like below. Fairies dotting like confetti, sound winking blue. In the pod, glass enclosing views, she pressed back to me, body warm anchor. Imagine dropping everything, she murmured, breath fogging pain. Van south to Baja, you wrenching beach shacks, me shooting sunsets. Fingers laced, pulse thrumming shared. But descent grounded us, her agent call again, details drilling. Flights booked, visa stamps, big break Voss. Dinner at a waterfront tavern. Crab cakes crisp outside, flaky within. Beer foam clinging, mustache on my upper lip, she kissed away laughing. Talk skirted the elephant, Berlin's pull versus our tether, till wine loosened tongues. I'm scared, she confessed. Fork tracing plate smears, eyes downcast. Of losing this. You. I covered her hand, calluses rough against her smooth. Then don't. Defer. Or I come. Garage can wait. Heart hammered, the offer bold as leaping rails. Her smile bloomed tentative, then sure. Yeah. Night in a Belltown loft, Airbnb splurge, exposed brick and king bed sagging soft. We shed clothes slow, reverent, lamplight gilding skin amber. Kisses map deliberate. My lips on her throat's flutter, eliciting sighs breathy. Hers trailing spine, teeth grazing dimples to arch me keening. Legs parted, her mouth descended worshipful. Tongue circling clit with flicks that built blaze slow. Fingers joining curl insistent till I shattered. Cry muffled in pillow, toes curling carpet. Reciprocated, I pinned her gentle mouth-devouring folds slick. Her hips bucking please. Riley, please more. Climax-wrenching gasps that fogged the headboard. Tangled after sheets, twisted ropes, we whispered futures. Joint darkroom garage in Portland. Her prints on walls, my tools on benches side by side. Morning market redux, coffee scalding in paper cups. Steam curling conspirator as she texted deferral. Gig on hold. Us first. Elation surged. Hugs crushing amid tourist jostle. Her laugh peeling over fish calls. South to Olympia. Capitol's domes gleaming wet under drizzle, we camped lakeside. Capitol Lake lapping tent canvas flap. Loons calling eerie night serenade. Bonfire crackled, marshmallows toasting gooey char. Her stories spilling. Childhood Polaroids of mom's smile pre-bottles. Dad's vanishing act leaving Polaroid ghosts. Snapped my first heartbreaker at 12. Best friend kissing a boy, me invisible. Voice cracks, embers popping sympathetic. I shared scars. Dad's hands guiding mine on first carburetor. His coughs later racking garage quiet. Sarah's exit, packing boxes, thuds echoing hollow, her parting shot. Love you but not like that. Ache throbbed fresh, but Lena's hand on knee soothed. Thumb circles grounding. Lovely in the tent, fire's glow filtering nylon orange. We explored languid, fingers tracing tattoos anew. Her swallow fluttering under my palm as breath quickened. My wrench inked bold, her tongue outlining to shiver spark. 69 tangle, mouths mutual devotion. Moans harmonizing muffled. Release dual wave crashing sync. Bodies quaking earthward. Days melted. Portland return, my apartment her canvas. Photos pinned walls corkboard. Vanilla-scented candles flickering dinner glow. Pasta twirling fork steam rise. Garage days she shadowed. Camera clicking mix gruff charm. Clients warming to her easy quips. Evenings van park street side pop-top stargazing. Her head pillowed thigh. Constellations traced fingers joint. But fracture brewed subtle. Her emails pinging agent frustrations. They're pushing Lena. Exposure like this. Nights she paced carpet worn. Phone glow etching worry lines. It's just photos, she'd say, curling into me, but tension coiled spring tight. Climax brewed in a fight. Rain lashing windows drum insistent. Her laptop open proofs Berlin prelims. Cityscape stark black-white. Look at this light, she urged, eyes alight. Irreplaceable. Jealousy spiked, irrational hot. And us? Replaceable. Voice rose sharp, unintended air-thickening charge. She recoiled, laptop snapping shut thud. God, Riley, it's work. Not erasure. Tears welled, voice fracturing. You think I don't feel torn? This us is home now. Silence stretched taut, rain's patter mocking. I crossed arms, defensive hunch. Then prove it. Ditch the damn trip. Hurt flashed raw. Can't just quit world for cave, Harper. That's not living. Door slam echoed hall, her fleeing to van, engine growl fading night. Alone, regret soured gut, walls pressing claustrophobic. Text flew apologetic. Come back. I'm scared too. No reply till dawn, need air. Driving hood canal. Heart sank, but I followed duffel toss car, tires spinning wet gravel out. Canal spit curled narrow, her van solitary pull out, waves choppy gray. Approach tentative, knock soft on door. Creak open, her face puffy-eyed but arms opened wide. Idiot, she muttered, pulling me in, kiss salt tear. We talk, I said, holding firm. No running. Inside, huddled quilt wrap, truth spilled. My fear of abandonment, roots as chains, her wanderlust tethering fear of stagnation. Balance, she proposed, voice steadying. Berlin short, then home. You visit. Build both. Relief flooded, kiss ceiling packed. Gentle to fervent. Hands roaming reconcile. Bodies affirming on the bench. Her straddling lap. Rock's gentle cradle. Moans weaving with wave sigh. Release healed, afterglow planning. Tickets booked, garage expansion sketches, napkin scribbled. South to wine country, Willamette Valley vines marching emerald rose. We toured tastings. Pinot flights, ruby swirl, tannins puckering tongue. Her laughter bubbling over sips, cheeks flushed. Vineyard picnic, cheese rind sharp, grapes bursting juice sweet, her lips stained purple I kissed clean. Rolling meadow grass tickling bare backs as we tumbled, love-making open sky. Clouds scudding witness her cries startling birds flutter. But shadow lingered, her call mid-harvest. Agent compromise 1 month Berlin not 2. Manageable? She asked, voice hopeful over phone crackle. Yeah, I lied, gut nodding. Drop off at airport loomed, security line a guillotine. Sea-tax bustle swallowed us, announcements droning garbled over heels clicking tile, coffee aromas warring with jet fuel tang. Her duffel thumped conveyor, boarding pass crisp in hand, but the line snaked endless, each step toward security a drag on my soul. Month flies, I said, voice too bright, gripping her waist last hug, flannel to leather scent memories. Berlin's yours. Crush it. Lena's eyes shimmered hazel deep pools. Video every night. And this. She pressed a Polaroid into my palm. Us at the vineyard, wind-tousled grins, her swallow tattoo peeking to edge. Keepsake. Kiss lingered soft and searing, her whisper. Love you, Riley. Waited my whole life for this detour. She vanished through scanners, wave final over shoulder, and I stood frozen, terminal roar fading to hollow buzz, the photo crinkling in fist. Drive home blurred. 101 south again. Radio silent, rain streaking wipers like tears unshed. Apartment echoed empty. Bed vast without her indent. Sheets still lavender faint. Days ground gear strip. Garage dawn to dusk. Engines yielding to wrenches with grunts satisfying but hollow. Mixed side-eye sympathetic. Texts bridged. Her flight turbulence jolted. My client rant emoji laced. Nights video calls crackled. Her flat stark white. Lens framing tired smiles. Mine garage lit, grease thumbs smudging screen. Miss your hands, she'd murmur. Voice husky transatlantic. Sparking solo relief under shower steam. Water scalding echo of her touch. Week 2 doubt crept insidious, silent stretches, her posts instaglossed. Berlin nights, neon gallery crowds clinking glasses, captions evasive. A call dropped mid-sentence, reconnection lag her excuse. Jet lag, babe. Gut twisted, old scars itching, Sarah's fade, slow poison. Mick noticed, over beers at the pub, foam clinging pint glass. She ghosting. Gruff blunt, his paw on shoulder heavy. Nah, I lied, swirling amber. Just. Distance. Harvest moon swelled, valley vines gold turning, and I drove solo. Van borrowed from her storage, pop top creaking lonely, radio crooning Katie Lang ache. Camped lakeside, fire spitting embers skyward. Polaroid propped log. Her grin mocking solitude. Whiskey burned throat, thoughts spiraling. Was it fever? Road mirage? Her text pinged midnight. Gallery opening tomorrow. Wish you here. Heart emoji but no call. Reply hovered since simple knock'em. Alone with crickets chirp. Tears hot track cheeks. First since dad's plot side dirt. Climax brood crisis, week 3. Call connects her breathless. Background hum voices lilting German. Riley? God, I've been swamped. Lilt in her laugh, new? Tell me about home. Words jammed, suspicion spilling. Swamped or sidetracked. Posts look cozy with that curator, brunette artsy. Voice cracked ugly, jealousy vinegar. Silence stretched static, then sigh ragged. Her name's Elise. Cully. Nothing. Hurt edged sharp. Trust me, Harper. Or don't. Don't. Echo boomed hollow. Feels one-sided. Me waiting you. Living. Click, disconnected? No, her voice fierce. I'm building us a future. Exposure means stability, darkroom fund, van upgrades. For you too. Pause, softening. I love you. But love's not leash. Line died, my sob echoing cab. Drove blind, tears blurring taillights, pulling over shoulder gravel crunch, head dropping wheel, horn blare startling deer eyes glow. Dawn broke resolve text, need space. Think. No reply. Days blurred numb. Work mechanical, meals tasteless, bed a battlefield of what-ifs. Mick dragged me hiking, boots pounding Multnomah Falls mist, cascade roar drowning innard in fix what's broke inside first. he grunted, trail dust kicking. Month's end loomed, airport pickup planned but heart rebelled. Packed her Polaroid careful, drove van to the Overlook, our first breakdown spot, Highway 101 Pines Sentinel. Sat hood propped, engine tick cooling, photo in hand, her words echoing, fate's detour. Realization dawned slow as sunrise gilding needles gold. Love wasn't possession but parallel roads converging willing. I chained her to my fear. She chased light for us both. Flight landed, terminal throng parting, her emerging weary but radiant, hair cropped shorter, daring pixie eyes scanning desperate. Spotted me rung collision, arms crushing, sob muffled flannel. Riley. Shoo. Held tight, her tremble sinking mine. I'm sorry. Pushed too hard. Your light's ours. Pull back, tears tracking. Missed you. Berlin was gray without. Kiss salt desperate, terminal bustle fading. Drove to the Overlook, van parked beside sedan, dawn breaking misty. Hood up mock, tools scattered prop, we laughed through tears, her head shoulder nest. Broke down again. I quipped, wrench twirling. Fixable? She asked, eyes vulnerable. With you? Always. Hands cupped, face, kiss deepening. Slow burn to blaze, bodies pressing urgent against metal warm. Tumbled blanket spread sand, dawn chorus birdsong backdrop, love-making reclaiming. Fingers delving shore, moans weaving wind whisper, release dawn bright, bodies quaking earth affirm. After tangled, her tracing my wrench tattoo. Journeys not end. Just turn. Months wove, her darkroom built garage adjacent, red light spilling night like blood moon. Gigs balanced, her coastal shoots, my mobile wrench runs. Van stayed but home rooted, apartment to house, key handover, her grin tear shine. 1 year on, anniversary dawn, Highway 101 same stretch. Picnic spread hood. Chili can doctored, wine twist off. Plan this, she teased, legs cross mine. Nah. Fate's better. Toasted, glasses clink, river echo, her hand belly flat. Ours tiny heartbeat flutter. Detour's gift. Sun rose full, gilding world promise. Our journey rolling endless, hearts geared true.